What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we are back here in the basement. Before we get started on today's video, please subscribe, hit the bell notice, hit that like button. Keep this basement rolling. We're almost at 2,000 subs. We're aiming for 5,000. Find a link to this video dropped in the comments below. What are we doing today? Well, I was considering doing a review of the Brisbane Lions, my favorite team. I was going to do Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. Then I started really thinking about what happened here. Geelong Cats, Sydney Swans. Footy started. Let's do some footy. No. It's Anzac Day. It's Anzac Day weekend. I know it's April 25th is the day, and I know Collingwood and Essendon. That's the game to review. From the start with I'm told, all the beautiful memorials for the veterans that I have to see before the game and post game. I'm looking forward to that entire event from start to finish. What makes it possible that we're even allowed to have footy in the AFL? Or the NFL, the Major League Baseball, hockey, basketball? How do we have these freedoms to have athletes that are able to play this game? For us as fans to go to these games and yell and scream, get all uptight because our team won or lost. And yelling back and forth at other people and other fans. Our team's this, your team's that. We're the best, you're not. Veterans. Everything we're allowed to do, just walking out your front door and going to the street to get mail out of your mailbox. Going to the store. Having the freedoms to make your own decisions. A lot of these veterans made a decision to volunteer and go in the military and fight for our freedoms to be able to do that. Protect us, the men and women that are out there doing it. I was never in the military, and I love and respect everyone that had to do it. I do. What John Schumann's going to talk about today, I was only 19. This is a highly requested video and song by so many Aussies. Johnny, you got to watch this. Johnny, you got to hear this. It's so moving. Johnny. Well, I found a video here where John Schumann himself explains to us how he came about to write this song, lead singer of Red Gum. He has a nice opening here, guys. We must never forget why we're here. This is more important. I did a piece on Billy Singh yesterday. Billy Singh, Chinese-Australian, one of the most effective Australian snipers. Man died in a boarding home in Brisbane with a hut on a mining claim and 5 shillings to his name. None of his World War I medals were anywhere to be found. He died alone. How many veterans die alone, confused or hurt, or effects from PTSD, living under a bridge? I said this in the other video. I'm saying it again for those that may have not seen my piece on Billy Singh. Why? Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. As they walk past and they're living under that bridge. Not well enough to get a job, but not sick enough to get 100% benefits. To me, if you're out there and you fought in wars and fought for us and fought for our freedoms, you shouldn't have to worry about medical attention and how I'm going to pay for it. Shouldn't be. Any veteran. Shouldn't be. We have Memorial Day here and Veterans Day. Salute and proud of them all. You guys have Anzac Day. Salute and proud of them all. How many are on the street corner that we pass on the road and you see them walking, you see them holding a sign, you see them still proud of their military status, but maybe be confused. The physical and mental ailments that these folks go through to protect us. So I felt that this needs to be addressed more this weekend than a footy game or a Ranger game or a Knicks game. Because I've watched them and I haven't done any reviews on the Knicks or the Rangers either. Those are my 2 teams and they're in the playoffs. This is more important. This is more important. We're going to listen to John Schumann right now. And I want to let you guys know that this song, I was only 19, I found out the royalties for this song all go to the Vietnam veterans of Australia. That is awesome. Let's get into this, guys. Let's get into this. A very moving piece. I'm going to let John take over here. And we're going to listen to this great song as well. I have the captions up so we can follow along so you don't miss a word of what did he say there? No, we can read these powerful lyrics as he sings it to us. Let's get going, guys. Let's get into this.
I'm sorry I can't be there with you tonight. When I wrote I was only 19, I was simply telling the story of my brother-in-law Mick Storen. Mick was deployed to Vietnam in 1969 and he'd been involved in a very serious mine incident in the Long High Hills. Our Vietnam veterans came home to a bitterly divided society and they fell into the cracks. As opposed to the well-meant inquiries, commissions and parliamentary committees, in 4 minutes 19 seconds, I was only 19 enabled ordinary Australians to walk in the shoes and look out of the eyes of our Vietnam veterans. It stopped all of us in our tracks. We Australians are fundamentally decent and fair, and once we got it, we all look back in shame at how we treated our Vietnam veterans. I don't think we'll make that mistake again.
Same here. The same thing happened here in the United States, and everybody's turned it around. Everybody's turned it around. And we honor every single one of them. Every single Vietnam veteran ever. John is hitting it on point. I am not going to pause this until it's over. I'm going to take it from here.
What I didn't realise until much later is that I was only 19 is a sort of quickly understandable dissertation on post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as the effects of herbicides and insecticides on our Vietnam veterans. A few years ago, I scripted and narrated a DVD for the Army on post-traumatic stress disorder. It was designed for soldiers pre- and post-deployment. I interviewed a wide range of veterans from Vietnam, East Timor, Somalia, Rwanda, Iraq and Afghanistan. And like Mick Storen, all these blokes had the courage to tell their PTSD stories so that their other comrades wouldn't have to suffer alone for years like they did. One of the most arresting stories I was told came from a Vietnam veteran. When he demobbed, he tried to slip back into his life in rural Queensland. He wasn't having a very good time. He had rashes that came and went, but his doctor told him they were due to his wife using too much detergent when she washed his clothes. His toenails fell out, but his doctor told him it was athlete's foot. He suffered from insomnia, but his doctor told him he was drinking too much coffee. When he heard 19 for the first time, he told me he was driving on a country Queensland road. He pulled over onto the verge and listened to the song, and then he cried. And after he dried his eyes, he told me his first thought was, those bastards have been lying to me. Because clearly, if some bloke could write a song that spoke directly to his heart and his experience, he was not the only one. He sought out other vets and found there were veteran support groups scattered all over the place, loose, unstructured, but all determined to fight for justice and a voice. It was the start of a movement. I Was Only 19 has lasted so long because, among other things, it speaks the truth about PTSD. It sets it in a real-life context. What I've learned about PTSD is this: it doesn't mean you're soft, it means you're human.
Amen.
Armed combat is the highest form of public service. When Australian serving men and women come home from whatever conflict our government sends them to, we owe them and their families all the help and support that we can possibly give them. They didn't count the cost, and neither should we. We honour our veterans, and we must stand beside them when they face the difficult challenges of coming home, so often bringing with them psychological as well as physical injuries. Oh, and one last thing. Don't let anyone ever tell you that songs can't change the world. Mum and Dad and Denny saw the passing out parade at Puckapunyal. It was a long march from cadets. And the 6th Battalion was the next to tour. It was me who drew the card. We did Canungra, Shoalwater before we left. And Townsville lined the footpaths as we marched down to the quay. This clipping from the paper shows us young and strong and clean. And there's me in me slouch hat with me SLR and greens. God help me, I was only 19. From Huntel, Brighton, Chinooks to the dust at Newey Dat, I've been in and out of choppers now for months. We made our tents a home, VB and pin-ups on the loggers, and an Asian orange sunset through the scrub. And can you tell me, doctor, why I still can't get to sleep? Nighttime's just a jungle dark and a barking M16. What's this rash that comes and goes? Can you tell me what it means? God help me. I was only 19. A 4-week operation when each step could mean your last one on 2 legs. It was a war within yourself, but you wouldn't let your mates down till they had you dusted off. So you close your eyes and you thought about something else. And then someone yelled out, "Contact front!" And the bloke behind me swore. We hooked in there for hours, then it got almighty raw. Frankie kicked a mine, the day that mankind kicked the moon. God help me. He was going home in June. I can still see Frankie drinking tinnies in the Grand Hotel on a 36-hour rec leave in Vantau. I can still hear Frankie lying screaming in the jungle till the morphine came and killed the bloody row. And the Anzac legends didn't mention Martin Blutton's ears, and the stories my father told me never seemed quite real. And I caught some pieces in the back that I didn't even feel. God help me. I was only 19. Can you tell me, doctor, why I still can't get to sleep? And why the Channel 7 chopper chills me to my feet? And what's this rash that comes and goes? Can you tell me what it means? God help me. I was only 19.
That was a powerful song. That was a powerful video. You see how they show all the war and the guys in it and the battles and everything that mentally can happen to a person to come home with PTSD. And what did they show at the end of that video? Boot camp. Graduating boot camp. Families proud. Families, that's my boy, that's my daughter. Going into that and knowing that they're volunteering and what they're signing up for, and they still do it. They still do it. Knowing that they could go out into that battle. Even if there's no war at the time, during their service, they may end up in it. They may end up coming home. What he said about Vietnam veterans, they were treated the same way here in the United States, and everybody's turned that around and make sure that they're appreciated now. Big up to John Schumann for writing this song and Red Gum. I love that he had the military band in there. Love that he had the military band in there. That was awesome. PTSD is real, and they didn't know what it was back then. Look at that. He said the guy had, you drank too much coffee. That's why you're staying up at night. Or your toenails were falling off because it's athlete's foot. Mental, physical ailments. Both shown right there. War within yourself. You saw that line in there? War within yourself. There's so many suffering that aren't well enough to get a real job to take care of themselves and not ill enough to get full benefits. Why? We all say thank you for your service. We have Anzac Day. We have Memorial Day and Veterans Day over here in the United States. Is that the only days that we think about them or remember them? How many are living under your bridge in your local town? When you're out going to buy food or picking up some fast food, can you pick up something for them? Do we? Our freedoms are here because of them. Don't ever, ever, ever let any of them go unappreciated. Our freedoms are here because of them. That's why I'm doing this weekend. That's why you're not going to see any game reviews from me. This is what it's about. The Essendon Collingwood, that's different. I'm going to do that because it's Anzac Day. It's the biggest game, along with the memorials, and what that game truly represents is the veterans. That's why I chose today to not do the Port Adelaide or the Brisbane or the Geelong game. This is where it's more important right here, guys. I always appreciate every single one of you and the support that you guys give this channel. Thank you. I thank you guys so much. It means the world to me that I can sit here and enjoy these videos along with you. Much appreciated. Keep in mind who those veterans are in your area that could use your help. I'm Johnny Basement. I'll see you on the next video, and I am out.